Hi, I'm Mike,
I'm Don,
and this is the International Space Station.
Science Garage. We have...
I'm just along for the ride here. Go ahead, what do we got?
We have an example of an aeroponic...
You expected me to know that.
An aeroponic growth chamber.
Holy cow.
And that's what we have here.
That's what that thing is.
Yeah, it's an aeroponic growth chamber.
Okay, so this isn't like anything you'd want to drink.
No, you don't want to drink it.
But
It's a means of growing plants.
Yeah.
And
okay.
this is what NASA uses on orbit, is aeroponics. And think of hydroponics. That's where you grow plants without any dirt, right?
Hydro meaning water.
Right. Well, aeroponics is one stage removed from hydroponics.
You grow plants with nothing.
You grow plants with air saturated with water around their roots, and you feed them all the nutrients they need, and then the plants grow outside of the root chamber like they normally do.
So how does this differ from hydroponics?
You don't have
water involved.
Well, there's less water involved. With a hydroponics, you might have like several gallons of water with the roots stuck into the water. With aeroponics, you have maybe only a few ounces of water that's atomized and circulated around a chamber where the roots are just hanging in the air.
Whoa, that sounds like science fiction.
And that is what you'd want to do in a weightless environment, so you wouldn't have to deal with how do you handle large quantities of liquid being pumped around the roots.
And liquid's valuable too.
It
You don't have
is.
to worry about as much.
So aeroponics is the way to go if you're going to be in a weightless environment where water is a precious commodity.
Okay, so in both cases you're kind of without dirt, right?
You're without dirt.
Dirt is a good thing for plants.
Dirt is a good thing for plants, but fortunately we can figure out what most of the nutrients are that plants need from the dirt, and we can give them to the plants by dissolving them in the water that's either in hydroponics or the smaller quantities of water that are in the aeroponics. And so you can still get plants to thrive and be healthy.
This sounds like a big scientific area here.
It is a big scientific area.
Is this the farmers of our world?
Well, dirt's cheap, and so
it's not a big deal. So
well,
this is more of a, go ahead.
This is more of a scientific way of growing things when you don't have a lot of dirt.
Okay, so let's take examples of places that need food that don't have a lot of dirt, like in the desert somewhere.
Yeah, or Antarctica. Or maybe mobile applications, like if you're on some kind of vessel and you want to grow some garden greens to spice up your food or something like that. Spacecraft. Colonization, you're going away from planet Earth, you're probably going to be using either hydroponics or aeroponics to grow your plants.
Okay, so it's driven by a space need, at least
NASA has grabbed it and is running with it for space.
But it has applications to all kinds of
places. It does. And we are doing this on Space Station right now, using aeroponic gardening techniques to raise plants in the orbital environment on Space Station.
Okay. So what do we got? Explain this to me. Now, this is a very interesting looking device you have here.
Yeah, and this is really set up in sprouter mode. So this one is not actually running in an aeroponic mode right now because there's a pretty big bucket of water down here, and we're just getting the seeds to sprout. But what I have here is this plant called Arabidopsis.
That's his name, or is that what it is?
That's what it's both.
Okay.
Arabidopsis.
Is that what it says here? Is that what you have written here? You can't see it, but there's some
Arabidopsis.
writing.
Well, and you have the date when you started.
Dinosaur or something.
Arabidopsis?
Yeah.
You say that.
Arabidopsis.
Arabidopsis.
Arabidopsis versus Velociraptor.
It's genetically very simple, and scientists have gravitated towards Arabidopsis as a model plant that they're studying its genome with. And they can torque with this plant, and they can make different variants on it to see what happens. So it's a model plant used by scientists to study different genome effects.
So for growing more stuff. for
Yeah,
growing
for learning
about
how
to do
plants
this.
work.
So
It's
this-
just like we do experiments on mice that are related towards human beings.
Yeah.
And so why do we do the
This is a
experiment?
mouse.
Yeah, so this is a plant equivalent of a mouse. I wanted to see,
Yeah.
could you have a potted plant in a corner?
And the answer was?
It's difficult to do, but you can.
You can.
Yes.
But it's important because you got to grow. Isn't there like regular experiments on space stations?
Oh, there are. There are regular experiments that have
for the-
formalized pieces of hardware with terrariums and all of that stuff.
Right.
And they use aeroponics to grow these seeds, and that's part of a big principal investigator
But you
experiment.
didn't do it that way.
No, I flew with seeds, and then I tried to figure out how to do this once I got on orbit.
But your plants were pretty big. You told me.
I had a
zucchini guy-
sunflower. I was able to grow a sunflower that was a
From a
meter and a
seed?
half long.
From a seed.
Yeah, and it bloomed and it made seeds.
All right, so I'm guessing these experiments from these principal investigators didn't have anything really big growing.
Well,
out
they
of it.
can't, maybe they have a growth chamber about like that, or
Right,
maybe
so-
the growth chamber's like
But
this.
yours was out in the open.
Mine was out in the open.
So you had like a garden going on.
Well,
floating
I don't know
around.
what I'd call it, a garden, but I had
I
a
think
few
I would
plants.
call it like a garden. So you had like a park. So the space zucchini, what were we saying? You grew your own stuff.
Yeah, I
Right,
wanted
as
to
a-
see whether you could have, without a lot of equipment that took power and computer control and all that, just
Yeah.
the equivalent of a potted plant in the corner in space station.
All right.
And so I brought a few seeds. I brought zucchini, broccoli, and sunflower. I
Okay.
figured those would be good things to try, and experiment a number of different concepts of trying to grow these aeroponically, passive aeroponics, so it didn't have pumps and motors and stuff like that moving around, just with plastic bags passively sitting there in front of the light on station, using nutrients composted from food. So I started a little compost pile, and I was able to have space zucchini.
In which you didn't eat this, of course.
No, because he became like a crew member. Now, sunflower normally grows really straight
Right.
stalks, right?
Yeah, which are gigantic, some of them.
And so I had this sunflower a meter and a half tall,
That's big.
and the stalk was like that thick. The stalk was maybe 3 millimeters thick, so it didn't put any energy into making the stalk
That is
because it didn't need to.
So the stalk, how big is a stalk on the? They're beefy.
Yeah,
So they're big,
a sunflower that'd be a meter and a half tall would probably have a stalk maybe 6, 7, 8 millimeters in diameter.
This is less than half.
Yes, and so the sunflower is kind of like human beings in that they're inherently lazy, and if they don't have to put the energy into making a stalk to stand up, they don't.
So that stalk would not work.
It would not
the
work
It would
on Earth.
fall over.
Yeah, and another thing, the sunflower stalks are straight.
Yeah.
This stalk was just all curvy
It
and
would
everything.
naturally go. So, well, so what's the ideal? So you have these little things that you really can't get anything you can eat.
Right.
You've had this stuff growing in the hallway.
Yeah.
In space there
Yeah.
in the middle of the module, and you could eat that stuff.
You could.
So what would you think if you're going on a trip to Mars, let's say, and you need to grow some vegetables or fruit, or I guess, I don't know, whatever you want to grow, what do you think the ideal?
Well, you would want
case
to
would be?
have a genuine design engineered growth chamber based off of aeroponics. And you would want to bring,
You have a farm, basically.
yeah, you'd have a small farm.
A farm module.
That's right, a farm module. I like that concept.
All right, so that's what you'd set it up right so the stuff has enough room to grow.
Enough room to grow with adequate lighting, and you'd provide the nutrients, and you do it in an aeroponic manner, and you could grow a significant amount of pleasantries to add to your normal food.